my lovelies. So I thought we'd do something a bit different, and as promised, I said that I would revisit turning paper into cloth, stitching it and turning it into cloth. And as part of the Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, the piece that I'm working on is, you know, you've got to put initials in or font, that sort of thing. And this is Rachel's Alphabetico, and I thought this would be ideal because we could make, you know, I made sure I've got a page with the C on it so that I can make a dangly thing for my piece. Also, I'm going to be doing another cover with some scraps, so stay tuned for that. Right, I'm going to cut this down just so it's a bit easier. It says she, but they're not all level. Okay. So I start in just a little bit from the edge because I like to go around the edge at the end and neaten it all up. So you could do this with zigzag. Most machines, even if you haven't got loads and loads of stitches, have got zigzag, and you can use the dig-dag-do zigzag stitch on that. Now I've got a bit more, a few more stitches, so I'm going to do like a honeycomb stitch, and it just threads all the bits together for you. So let's I've not done this for ages, so bear with. Ooh, we didn't want it that fast, did we? Oh, that fast. It's a bit better. That is a bit better. Now I'm doing these in strips. You don't have to do. You can do them as cut them out as individual squares. I've not put anything on the back at the moment. This is on 160 GSM paper, so it's a bit thick. I don't use the printer paper 80. Anything less than 160, then, you know, you are likely to get it crumbling too much. So about 160 GSM, whatever you convert that to in non-European sizings. So I'm just going to go down to the next one. In fact, I think we'll go down to the sea. Go down to the sea, letter C, not the seaside. Oh, I wish. I do miss the seaside, living by the sea. Now, if you're not somebody that's overly confident with your machine, you can hear me over. Oh, sorry, knocked you. Then I'll link a couple of my videos. I've done quite a few video tutorials on really just getting to grips with setting your machine up, some little tricks and tips. Can't talk this morning. To find your way around your machine and get you started. And I used to be somebody that was very, very scared of using a sewing machine because I had an awful teacher at school. And I think once they're being horrible to you, you lose your confidence, don't you? So go and have a look through all my sewing videos in the first year of me being on YouTube. So that would be 2019, I think. No, 2020. First year of the lockdown. I think. Yeah, it's probably October 2019. And I'll see if I can find them to link. So I'm just going down to the sea, and then I promise I'm not going to make you listen through all of it. The other thing that I find is that I know if you can speed it up, you get through it a lot faster. However, I feel that if you've got a complicated stitch, like for example this honeycomb one, you don't want it to be going too fast, you know. It's extra wear and tear on your machine, and I find that you have more problems. You sometimes get this bit of a rat's nest underneath that gets all stuck. Now, needle size, generally for just sewing on paper, it's a size 80 universal. I don't think everybody realises that the right needle for the job, even if you're paper crafting or you're mixing paper and cloth, is a lot kinder to your machine, and you'll find you get a better finish. And also, it doesn't cause you, again, so many problems. So really, size of needle is important, and to change them. You know, sometimes we don't change them enough. Right, I'm going to turn this round. That wasn't very straight, was it? I'm going to take it out for a moment for you. It's easier to cut out of the machine. Right. I'm going to cut this off. My straightness wasn't very straight, was it? So can you see the honeycomb? Now, it's in grey and it's quite a thick stitch. So for the Alphabetico, you might have a look at it and think, well, to be honest, I can't see the pattern well enough. Well, that's fair enough, because that's when you can think, right, you have a play around with it and you'll find a font that suits you for that particular project. You may as well just sew over plain paper, plain card, if you can't see the image underneath, which I'm a bit concerned might be the case here, but we'll see. So place it as near to the last one as possible. So I'm just going to carry on sewing this, and then I'll come back to you when I've sewn quite a bit of this, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, I'll be back right soon. Okay, so I've stopped. Couple of reasons. I can tell now with how this second row's going that I'm not going to be able to see the image as nicely as I'd like to see it, really. It's very dense, and in this inst I don't want to cover up my lettering. The other thing is, can you see how skew whiff it's gone? It's not in a very straight line, and that is actually because the feed dogs don't like gripping paper. It's a touch shiny, this card. Well, it's still paper, and so it's skewing it. So there's a couple of things there. So I'm glad it's done that, really, because it shows you what's what. So I am going to back it. Now, I'll have to be called, I'll have a D for David, shall we? We'll have a D for David. And I'm going to back it. Now, you don't need anything special, just some, is that big enough? Just some linen. Plain cotton bed sheet or whatever. Right, I'm going to clip this in place. Okay, now I'm going to change my stitch. I want something that's not so close weave for this, so let's see what I might do. Let's try. I'm going to try leaf stitch, not leaf stitch, can't think what it's called in embroidery at the moment, it'll come to me. Goodness me, we've been using it and I can't remember. It's less closed off. Okay, let's try this one. Right, I'm stopping that. I'm going to alter the size of the stitch. I'm going to make it bigger. Try that. That's better. So don't be afraid to fiddle about with your stitch and length and width, because when you come to do machine embroidery, and I don't mean one of those machines that everything does everything for you, but when you are actually doing free machining, it's part of the play is to have, just going to go back slightly, part of the play to mess about with your stitch size and length gives you a good, I'll show you the difference when we're round. This time I'm going round the edge first, it doesn't really matter. I like to do the middle first, but I think this is going to secure it more easily. Okay, we'll turn it round this way. This is going to be a better one, a better stitch. And then back along. I'm not gossiping on this, you've got enough to concentrate on. Just make sure your last stitch is locked in to the vertical. So let me show you on here. Just gonna hold it up. So you can see here, that was going to be too tight. I wasn't happy with that for the look it wanted. So I have made the stitches longer, and you can certainly see here, it opens the weave up. It makes the weave more open, and therefore you can see more of your image through. So I'm just going to now go fill it in, like you're doing, like filling in stitches, filling in with your stitch rather than your colouring pen. And off we go again. As near to your last stitch as possible, because at the end of the day we don't want it to feel like paper anymore. We want it to feel like stitch cloth. So, apologies, you know, we're sewing, so it is going to make a noise, and you can turn the sound down, but then you'll miss all the trips and tricks and tips. Right, I'm going to fill this in and I'll come back to you, save you having to listen through it all. Okay. There you go. I'm just going to smarten round the edge. Now, I've done something slightly different with this, is I've gone up, round, down, across, up, round, down, across, and I've done it like that. Just so that it gives it a little bit of pattern showing, and also I thought you'd be able to see the D better. Normally, if I'm doing long strips, I'll just keep going up and down and do it that way. But I quite like that. I'm just going to go around the edge now and then neaten it off. Just look to see if there's some, I've noticed here there's a bit of an area that's not filled in, so bear with noise. and then you want to go down the edge. We want to lock this edge because we're going to be cutting it. Sorry, I'm trying to keep my fingers out of the way for you. Now we've got a bit of a gap here, so I'm going to fill that in first. Just a matter of getting used to doing it. Where you think that there's too many gaps that are still paper, then go back to filling those in. We're going to seal this edge. Something really satisfying to me doing this, sewing on paper. So again, we're sealing this edge in. I'll just go down here again. Okay, now if I do these first time I've done this with the Alphabetico, if I was doing this again, I feel that I would use a lighter colour cotton. You can still see the background, but not as nice as I would like. And then basically now we're just going to cut. Make sure you don't cut your sealing edge. Let's take that off there. Sorry, I'm trying to do it so you can see. Plus you're cutting round here, that's why you have to seal it with your stitches. There we go. Just tidy that up. And there you have it. That now you can, that's secure. That is now a patch that you could use. Really pleased with that. So you've got to do a bit of trial and error, do a few practice runs, try different colours, different patterns, and actually it will alter every time you do a different project. I've never done the alphabet before. Other images that are larger, then you can see it through the cloth more. You can always colour this in if you wanted to with some fabric paint or fabric colours. You could actually colour that deep in. Okay then, so thank you so much for joining me. I will see you again next time. Bye for now.